Wrestling fans around the corner, around the world, I'm Dan Marty.
Marty Jannetty in the house.
A brand new Wrestling Insiders Party with Marty begins now.
When the announcer dude, he says 8 inches. The whole place is going crazy. You know the guys, right? What they're thinking. And Warrior walks in right at that time when everybody's just hooping and hollering and throwing their hats in the air. And he sees me, he comes right to me. What the hell's going on? I said, they're having a banana eating contest. So look up there, that girl just put 8 inches of banana in her mouth. He goes, so what? Look how fucking thin the banana is.
Tickets are on sale now at bostonwrestling.com for our 20th anniversary Back to the 80s WrestleFest, Saturday, November the 13th at Memorial Hall in Melrose, Mass. Wrestling fans, it's time to rock. WWE legend Marty Jannetty of the Rockers returns for 3 big nights, Wednesday, September the 1st through Friday, September the 3rd. Marty will be taping historical Wrestling Insider episodes, live specials, in-cyber autograph signings, support wrestling superstars, pre-order autographed 8x10s now over at bostonwrestling.com. This September, get your sunglasses ready. It's time to party with Marty.
This is Mick Foley.
This is Harley Race.
This is Shelton Benjamin.
This is Mr. Wonderful Paul Orndorff.
This is the Monster Abyss.
And this is Daniel Bryan.
This is JBL, and you're watching the MWF.
Be there live.
Wrestling fans, it is Thursday night. We are your home away from home here on Wrestling Insiders Party with Marty. If you could, share the link across social media. Let fans know that we are on. There are millions of lapsed fans from the 80s and 90s that have given up on the sports entertainment of today that would love to party with Marty on Thursday night, reliving the good old days of professional wrestling. Marty, we talked about the Legion of Doom debuting on our last episode.
Right.
At that same TV taping, Dino Bravo defeated Paul Romer in an innocent enough squash match.
Was it a squash match?
Pretty much. At the end, as Dino tried to take some liberties with Paul Romer, out came the Rockers to try and make the save. And that led to Hercules coming out. It was a little fired up.
And that's the build of Power and Glory, right?
Yeah, yeah. So we saw the beginnings of Power and Glory come together as you were wrapping up your house show run with the Orient Express. Your thoughts on I guess, first of all, the pairing of Hercules and Paul Romer?
I thought it was pretty good because they were good friends anyway.
Oh, were they? Okay.
Yeah, they were workout buddies, and so they had so much in common. They got along. I mean, both were pretty decent, good workers, and worked a different style. Well, there was a Power and a Glory, you know. And so yeah, we liked it. Again, that's another team we haven't mentioned too much that I used to love to work with. Both good in different ways, like you said. I forgot about that too. We talked about all the tag teams earlier, and I forgot about that. But yeah, man, they were good for, I don't remember how far they pushed them. Do you?
Oh, they had a tag team title match run with the Hart Foundation.
Okay, but they were never champions, though.
No,
okay.
No. I think they kind of used you guys were the stepping stone to get to the Hearts.
All right.
Once the Hearts had the belt. But we'll get there later in
Remember what we talked
year
about,
as time went on.
Every time a new team needed to,
here
we are.
Yeah. Like, what was the terminology that Billy Gunn used? The springboard?
Yeah, springboard.
The springboard, yeah. What happened with the Young Stallions?
I mean, there was a good tag team name. The Springboards.
The Young Stallions, I always thought they were a pretty solid team. They never did much with them. Is it true that they didn't get along all that well? Romer and Jim Powers?
They didn't ride together, but most of the tag teams didn't. Sean and I were the only ones that really could, spend 24/7 around each other. And I, loves them both, and hung out with Jimmy, and didn't really hang out with Paul. But I mean, Paul and I got along great, so I would get to hear both sides. It's not that they didn't get along, they just, I think they were buddies, but, Paul would have a couple of negative thoughts, on Jimmy, and Jimmy would have a couple of negative thoughts on Paul. And that's about it, though. It wasn't nothing serious, you know what I mean? It wasn't no, he's an asshole type thing. It wasn't none of that. But I thought they were good, too.
I always enjoyed their matches. I like the Young Stallions.
Good energy, good-looking guys, great bodies. as a team, probably the best buddies. You know, at least,
Yeah, well, together, yeah. I mean, they were really, I'm sure helped, but, you know, they would look the part very much on WWF television.
And you'll find this hard to believe, but with them and Sean and I hit the clubs together, nobody went home empty-handed. Night after night after night. And we did, we'd all hang out. Paul wasn't crazy. You know, Jimmy and I got real close as friends, and especially after Sean and I split off, you know, we couldn't be hanging around.
Yeah.
Plus, there seemed to be some animosity there somehow. Not bad, but again, you know, we weren't going to be hanging out. So Jimmy and I would keep going out and
stuff.
He
was your new riding buddy?
Yeah, that was my road partner, and you know, we had so much in common. Same, you know, loved the working out, loving to, you know, the nightlife, and loving the wrestling business. So we had, you know, all that in common. And so, you know, I got to see the other side that a lot of the other wrestlers didn't, that thought, you know, because one said something negative, you'd be, you know, just, I'll say now, Paul always thought Jimmy was kissing ass too much to other guys. Like, when he's around Warrior, he tries to be like Warrior. When he's around the Bulldogs, he wants to be a Bulldog, you know.
And do you think there was truth to that?
Well, those were likable people. So I mean, so.
Oh, okay.
You know, I mean, well, Jimmy's probably the only other person other than me that Warrior liked.
Well, you like Jim Powers?
Yeah. Jimmy and him were more so than me. I mean, he just, I think he could just tolerate me, whereas he couldn't tolerate nobody else.
He really liked that few people in the locker room, the Warrior?
That's why he had his own dressing room.
Wow.
And even if it was a closet size, I mean, there's nowhere the Warrior we can put you but this closet. Just the chair will fit in your bag. There ain't much more space. That's good enough. Any
idea why he had such a negative attitude towards people?
Most miserable person I'd ever met in my life. And I've met a lot of miserable people in the wrestling world. You meet a lot of people. And
yeah, I can attest to that.
He was just the most miserable. I mean, a good-looking dude, built out there, you know, built as good as you can be. On TV, you're a star. You know, and you're getting to push through the world. Why do you walk around 24/7 negative? I don't think I can explain it any better than this. And I'll brief it because I've told it on here before, but it might be new people who didn't see it. One time we were going to a club in Detroit, and you remember this? We were going to a club in Detroit, and Warriors come up and where's everybody going tonight? I said, straight up the road. That's where I'm going now. He goes, I'll be there later. I'll see you later. I'll look for you. And we went into the club. It was a regular club right up the street from where everybody stayed. And they were having a banana contest with the girls. The girls go up on stage and they put take a peeled banana. The girl has to put as much down her throat and then pull it back out, and they measure without breaking it. If it broke, it was disqualified. And so, you know, all the guys are going crazy. It don't matter how much, you know. I wonder where they got the idea for that contest.
I don't know.
Yeah, but so they were, you know, we got to 5 inches. They would announce it, 5 inches, 6 inches, and when they got to 5, you know, that was they had the final. The girls that were breaking it at 2 inches and 3, you know, then they had the finals go again. You know, because maybe the second time around or whatever the case. And Warrior shows up right as the final girl, she just did it, I think they said 8. That's a long ass banana. And they measure, I mean, all the guys seen, I think that was the end of the banana. I mean, it wasn't nothing else. Couldn't go 9, there wasn't 9 inches of banana. But when the announcer dude, he says 8 inches. The whole place is going crazy. You know the guys, right? What they're thinking. And Warrior walks in right at that time when everybody's just hooping and hollering and throwing their hats in the air. And he comes, sees me, he comes right to me. What the hell's going on? I said, they're having a banana eating contest. So look up there, that girl just put 8 inches of banana in her mouth. He goes, so what? Look how fucking thin the banana is. You just can't please the man.
Do you think maybe where there was some accusations thrown the Warrior's way, he wanted to compete in this banana contest?
They probably would have let him. Yeah, maybe he was like, come on, make it a challenge.
But just for years, he was really that unhappy being around?
Most miserable human I've ever met. I mean, he walked through, like I said on other episodes, he walked through the airport and people want to come get autographs, especially when you're just standing there. When you're walking this, you know, they're going to let you walk a little bit. When you're standing there waiting on your baggage, you know, they come up and want an autograph, and, you know, even the ones that didn't, I didn't mind, I don't care, but then again, I was never a top guy. Maybe
Right.
it's aggravating as hell when you can't catch a break. I'm not in character, I don't have a paint on, can't you see that? I'm not going to sign, I'm not going to take, was taking the pictures more so than the signing. If they ask for a picture, I'm not in character, and of course not, I'm not going to take a picture with you. Well, you didn't have to scream at him to tell him.
He would yell at them?
Yeah, oh, well, you know, pretty much. I mean, he'd be loud. I'm not in character. I ain't got my paint on. And then, but he would do that, and then yet show up with a jacket with his picture on the back. Get tattooed his own warrior, his own body, and thing. Got cowboy boots that say "Ultimate" on one side, "Warrior" on the other, but don't want nobody to recognize you. What the fuck? I mean, he would go to, you know, we had to get a rent-a-car every place we go. He goes coming down the escalator, going to the rent-a-cars, and you hear him yelling, and you think, oh shit, you know, one of the boys, something's trouble. He's sitting there pounding on the counter at the Hertz rent-a-car, or wherever it is, because they didn't have his car ready. It was some kind of mistake. I spend all my days off getting the reservations and you don't have it ready. I do that shit so I don't have to wait. God damn it, it's an incompetent mother. We're like, oh my God, he's screaming at the Hearst people. Another time we were at the restaurant eating, and you know, he's dieting, he's getting his things, he ordered egg beaters. The girl brings it, the boys are all in there. And she sets it down. Oh my God, I saw it when she set it down. There was butter. It was almost floating in butter. It was so much. And when he looked at it, I was like, oh shit. All of us were like, what's he gonna do? Because we know how he was. What the fuck is this? And he swipes it off of the table, the little thing that was in, breaks all over the floor. I ordered egg beaters. You think I fucking want butter all over it? What's the fucking point? Poor girl almost started crying and walked away, and we're all scooting away from Warrior. Don't want the whole restaurant's looking at him, and you know.
You think it was roid rage?
No, he was. Whether he was. See, I really don't even believe in that. I think roids, you might bring out what's already in you, you know, because there's a lot of guys that are big and bad, and they never change, you know. When they're doing it, you know, the boys. I mean, when you've got to be miserable as hell when you get pulled over by a policeman and you jump out the car, he's behind you, he's got the lights on, you pull over, jump out the car and go back screaming and pointing at him, what the fuck are you pulling me over for? I haven't done nothing. And the policeman just cracks the window, goes, you're on the one way, the wrong way. He was on the wrong way, he made a turn, didn't know where he was at. You know, kind of, that happens a lot on the road. But the chase, run, fuck. I mean, most miserable person stays that way. Jimmy Powers was with him when he went to the Mustang Ranch or whatever it was out in Vegas, where you can go pay for a girl and get the back room.
Fellatio.
Yeah, well, you know, Annie. And Jake the Snake was there. They were together. It was Jake and Warrior and Jimmy Powers. And the lady recognized them. She was a big fan, and other people there were going crazy. She went and gave them a voucher for a free one.
Oh, really? Wow,
yeah, well, I think she wanted, because they were messing up, all the guys in there were paying more attention to them. So she was like, you know, give them, and you know, Jake standing there, and Jimmy got one, and when she gave Warrior, she goes, what the fuck, you think I'm poor? I don't need that. And Jake said, yeah, Jake said, let me have it. But old Jimmy Powers says, so he sits there and talks to one Warrior. Talks to this one girl Jimmy says, for a little bit. And I'd finally said, to hell with it, I'm going to take that back. I said, he said, he was sitting there trying to talk that girl into coming back with him. He didn't want to do nothing there or whatever.
This is Warrior or Powers?
Warrior was talking to a girl about, get out of this shit, just come back to my room, and I'll pay you double or whatever, you know. And, I mean, just a miserable, I mean, every aspect of it was miserable. I just never seen nothing like it.
There was really that few people he got along with other than you and Powers? I mean, like, for example...
Well, Kerry Von Erich, but then, you know...
Yeah, they went to world class way back. Did you, how did he get along with Sean? No? No good, or?
No. I mean, he wouldn't really have nothing to do with it.
What about...
We'll put it this way, Jim, when he got in little closets of a room, you know, Jim and I we could sit there and talk with him bullshit, but we're not going to dress there because it's like crazy. But he wouldn't let anybody else come in there and sit with him or anything.
Wow. What about it? Did you ever observe his interactions with top guys like Hogan or Savage or Piper? Or
just business, everything.
Was he more respectful towards them at least?
Yeah, he didn't do
yell
all that.
Yelling and scream at them?
No, he didn't. Not that I know of.
I mean, I can't see someone.
I think it seemed, according to the biography on A&E, don't do it. Go ahead and do it. Let me sing. Denver, Colorado. Where's my phone? Oh,
right there. Nothing to worry about.
What was he saying? Oh, about something about Warrior. Oh, on A&E they said that's kind of all they talked about was his business deals. It came off as like he tried to strong arm, you know, Vince, manipulate Vince all the time. Like, I did as much in 2 years as Warrior did, or as Hulk did in 6 years. I built a character faster. I want the same pay as him when they had a WrestleMania or something together, or
SummerSlam.
SummerSlam was it? And I don't know. And then another. He had all these contingencies, you know, that he added on after he was, you know, brought back.
Yeah.
He had the cartoon character thing, and he wanted Vince. Comic book was it? He wanted Vince to pay for $100,000 to be issued or some shit. Yeah, he was something. But yeah.
Well, I know. Just trying to, if you were interested in using him for an independent show, he was off. That's number one, Johnny. Very difficult as far as some of his...
I can't see him on an indie show.
Well,
maybe seminars. He loved doing seminars. And not wrestling seminars, although he ran a school. We didn't understand how. We just shake the ropes and hold your hand out for money. That's what else could he teach them? But like motivational speakings.
He did do those, and look at all the trouble that he got himself into.
All over at Yale or one of the universities?
Many of them.
Oh, really? I knew the one. They showed it.
He had derogatory comments about homosexuals, and
yes.
I think some of the things he said about Bobby Heenan were deplorable. He was glad that he had cancer.
Oh, no, he didn't say
that. Yeah, he sure did.
Come on, Jim.
And, you know, he treated Bobby Heenan like he was a rag doll and threw him around like he was nothing. Well, remember when they would work singles matches? They did those weasel suit
Bobby's
matches.
the nicest guy in the world, wasn't he?
Well, you know, Bobby took a couple of shots at him in his book, but I think they were receipts that were deserved. He hurt him physically, regularly, to try and get himself over. But then to say...
Oh, he hurt everybody. That's why Rick had to punch him, you know, that time.
It's one thing to say, you know what, you're an asshole, but to say that you're glad he's got cancer, or you deserve the cancer... That was low, and that's why I don't understand.
Now I got to question myself for liking him so much.
How WWE has a Warrior Award at their Hall of Fame. Please.
Yeah, they hated
of
him
all
for
the
so
people.
long.
Exactly.
They did that video to destroy him.
They did a DVD.
DVD to destroy him.
The self-destruction of the Ultimate Warrior, whatever it was called.
Yes.
And they had people bury him for 2 hours.
Yeah, Chris Jericho was good at it too.
And he didn't even really work with them. But I mean, I don't know. Wrestling fans, we got the cue from old John C. in the back. Right now, I'm going to take a brief timeout. Perfect time for you. Check out the eBay, the Patreon. We'll be right back.
Tickets are on sale now at BostonWrestling.com for our 20th anniversary Back to the 80s WrestleFest, Saturday, November the 13th at Memorial Hall in Melrose, Mass. The World Wrestling Federation was live at JFK Coliseum in Manchester, New Hampshire, Sunday, August the 19th, 1984. In the opening contest, S.D. Jones drew Charlie Fulton. Rocky Johnson with the win over Fred Marzino. Greg the Hammer Valentine beat Rick McGraw. Chief J. Strongbow victorious over Mr. X. Iron Mike Sharp defeated Terry Daniels. And in the main event, the Superfly, Jimmy Snuka with the win over Mr. Wonderful Paul Orndorff via disqualification. If you were in Manchester live, share your memories in the comment section below. Use the links in the description box to keep Wrestling Legends working in our eBay store and on our world-renowned Patreon streaming service so we can bring you more interactive superstar shoot interviews to relive the good old days of professional wrestling. Check it out. Boston wrestling sports in the MWF explodes into a new year with professional wrestling content galore and need you to join our family. Every Tuesday night at 10 p.m. after our Monday Night Raw review, it's Wrestling Insiders at your house with WWE Hall of Famer Mr. USA Tony Atlas. Wednesday nights at 10 p.m. after NXT and AEW, join rotating legends on Wrestling Insiders Special Edition. Every Thursday night at 10 p.m. after our NXT and Dynamite review, it's Marty Jannetty's No Holds Barred Sex, Drugs, and Rock and Roll journey on Wrestling Insiders Party with Marty. Friday night after SmackDown, don't miss John Cena Sr.'s Wrestling Insiders Fabulous Fridays. Plus, look for classic clips, history videos, bonus live episodes, pay-per-view watch-alongs, and more. For less than a cup of coffee at Starbucks, get early ad-free access to our Wrestling Insider talk shows, our acclaimed studio shoot interview DVD library, and help keep wrestling legends working during the worst of times. Join our growing family at patreon.com/Boston Wrestling. Expect the unexpected in 2021.
Wrestling fans around the corner, around the world, I'm Dan Marati.
And I'm Mr. USA WWE Hall of Famer Tony Atlas.
The road to WrestleMania has begun. Wrestling fans are looking to add to their man caves. You got to see what we have in the eBay store. Check it out.
Here's your chance to own a piece of history from the 2020 WWE Draft. On the second night, October the 12th, The Fiend, Bray Wyatt, and Alexa Bliss unleashed hell on Andrade and Zelina Vega. This limited edition 11x14 collector's poster is number 26 of only 50 made, personally signed by both The Fiend and Alexa Bliss, direct from friends at WWE. Comes with certificate of authenticity hologram on the poster itself, suitable for framing. You'll also receive a bonus autographed mystery photo and an on-air shout-out as our thanks to you. Get this ultra-rare autographed Fiend and Alexa Bliss poster now. Wrestling fans, especially here in the Boston area, we want to thank our great friends at Red Rose for their support for all of our charitable endeavors and programming efforts. Red Rose is 2 years young and extremely thankful for all the support they've had from our neighbors here in Melrose and beyond for an amazing first 2 years. Red Rose thanks Melrose and all of the first responders who have fought the good fight and have never given up hope during these unprecedented times. We did it together. Follow Red Rose on Facebook for their anniversary special, facebook.com/Red Rose Melrose. You'll be glad you did. Open until 2 a.m. Red Rose will give you fresh, piping hot, mouth-watering food that'll put an ear-to-ear smile on even the toughest critic's face. Check out their full menu online at redrosema.com or give them a call, 781-620-1889.
Wrestling fans, welcome back to Wrestling Insiders Party with Marty. Dan Marati along with
MJ in the house.
Unbelievable. As we continue our journey through 1990.
Did you forget who I was?
Never.
You never asked
You
me
think
after
I
the
could
intro.
forget you? You think I could forget you? What turned into almost a day of reckoning in the world of wrestling. July the 4th, in 1990, the victim, Brutus the Barber Beefcake, almost had his face torn off.
Yeah, they showed that.
In
They
a
talked about that.
parasailing accident. They showed it?
Well, they talked about it on biography.
Oh, I see.
No, it was actually
the
the
treasure
treasures.
hunt
Yeah,
one, yeah.
treasure hunting with Greg Valentine. Don't do it.
What would I possibly do about Greg Valentine?
You know what you do.
To make him smile?
Well,
But,
no,
I mean-
you always go to A&E on that one.
well, that's what channel it was on. I can't control that. But I mean, in all seriousness, what a horrible accident. When
Yeah.
he was just trying to enjoy a rare day off, a July 4th barbecue, and some woman's knees, I think the woman's knees broke. She hit his face so hard.
Yeah,
And he had-
for those who didn't know, he was parasailing and taking off for it or something, and the boat stuttered or something. And
No, I think he was in the water and the woman's knees hit him in the face.
Oh,
she was taken off. Yeah.
Okay.
He was just in the water.
Oh, I heard it differently. He was parasailing and just, the boat stuttered and crashed into somebody. But that makes more sense.
And his face was, the bones and the inside of his face was so shredded he couldn't speak.
Yeah,
he could barely breathe.
He said on there that the doctors were saying he ain't gonna make it.
Yeah.
But I don't know when they say that right in front of you.
I know his hearing must have still been working.
Yeah, his hearing was working. Nothing else was working. But he heard that.
He has a very interesting book where he talks about it in great detail. In that book, he discusses Greg and a personal friend he had in Boston from the A&E network.
Am I going to have to sing?
No, you know, we won't go there, but you know who we mean. But the fact
I'm sure everybody does.
The fact that Brutus would actually include a mini chapter in his book about it just shows to me the level of the intensity of the A&E.
Did he talk about in there? He did about me buying him a midget for his birthday.
I haven't finished it yet. I don't
really?
remember that. But I guess we'll have to. Why did you buy? I'm going to ask now. Why did you get Brutus Beefcake a midget for his birthday?
It was kind of joking on him. You know, just giving him.
Was it a female midget?
Yeah, a female midget, and her job was to, you know.
Service?
Yes.
Did she?
I don't know. I didn't. We were all laughing too hard.
Well, how did Brutus react to you about the midget?
I think he called me and said, "Get this out of my room." I don't remember.
You just gave the midget his hotel room number, and she went and knocked on the door?
I think he was at up there, the Howard Johnson.
Oh, it was in Boston?
I think it was.
Yeah?
I'm not sure on that either, but.
Did you see the midget go into the room?
Yeah, I think a bunch of us saw, but didn't. We're laughing.
Well, I mean,
we're trying to hide, so we ain't got no idea who did it.
If the midget went into the room, I can't imagine they sat down and had a conversation.
Not making fun or light of anything about midgets. Just, you know, we just wanted to give him a hard time because he's so big and they're so small.
Yeah.
Did that make sense?
It did. Do you think he did a little bit of strutting?
And stroll.
A little cutting. He maybe trimmed the midget.
He had his scissors.
Oh, poor Brutus, a very polarizing individual. A lot of his peers weren't the biggest fans of his.
What do you say that?
As we mentioned that Bret Hart pretty much buried him in his book.
What's polarizing? Yeah. You love or hate?
Yeah.
Basically. Sort of like Donald Trump was polarizing.
You could say that. Yeah. Much more so than Brutus Beefcake.
Well, they did on TV. I always figured that's what it meant.
But how did the boys react when you hear about something like that? The guy, when you get back on the road, you know, he was working B teams with Mr. Perfect for the
we all felt bad about it.
Yeah.
The sadder part to me was the fact that, you know, he had to go through all that. You know, I know how it is with these. But imagine your face is glued and stapled and bolts and screws and all, because it crushed everything up here.
Oh, his nose was crushed.
Everything.
His jaw was wired shut. 8 steel plates. 40 screws, 100 staples.
You got it written down?
I do. I had it written all down. Just to try and put Brutus's face back together again. And they did a pretty good job. I mean,
they did a great job.
He looked almost like his old self.
Pretty much, yeah. I mean, for considering that, yeah. But sadly, after, and I can't, you know, I've been through the injuries and the surgeries. Yeah. Just as you're getting over the hump, and now we're on, okay, we can deal with it now, it's getting better. Falls down in the tub and hits his face. You know about that?
No.
He didn't put that in the book.
I don't remember it, no.
Yeah,
he fell over in the bathtub?
Yeah, he hit his face on the tub and cracked it again.
Did they have to bring him back to the hospital?
I think so. They had to redo or something.
I think didn't he stay with Hulk for a little while?
He probably, I would imagine, he probably did. I don't know that for.
Well, I do remember him saying that Hulk was a great friend to him when it happened. And I mean, just
that's not a surprise.
His whole world imploded. And that, you know, no matter what you think of the guy, you have to feel for him. That's just horrible.
What did you say like that? No matter what you feel about it.
Well, there's a lot of people that don't like him, you know.
Yeah.
Did you ever go? Well, you were a Florida guy. Did you ever go and see him when he was out of commission for so long?
Couldn't. Was on the road 300. You know, 300 days a year. We didn't have a chance.
You didn't want to take a day off to go and see him.
And I didn't want to. Just
you didn't have time.
Yeah.
Did the boys try and do anything to help out? Maybe try and collect a little money for him?
I don't know. I don't know if they need to. He was doing pretty good at that time. That was another thing. You know, it was probably the Was that during the barbershop or after? Do you remember?
Long before. That they started doing the barbershop because he couldn't
Afterwards?
work. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
He couldn't have matches because of his face.
Well, he was still climbing the ladder even before the barbershop. He was climbing the ladder. He was getting up pretty high.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, he was working a feud with Perfect for the Intercontinental title on the road. So
What do you think about if Beefcake would have? Well, who was a heel though? Now we was looking for partners to feed Warrior, wasn't we? Earlier episode, we were saying they didn't have nobody to feed him, and they gave him Rick Rude again.
Oh, you mean if they turned Beefcake heel to work with Warrior?
Yeah.
Oh, I think those matches would be horrible. Could you picture that being? I mean, Warrior was someone that was difficult.
For me, it'd be fun because
maybe once as a rib.
I could hear Beefer complaining about it, but I'd love to hear exactly what he. Jesus Christ, I just love to hear him how he would put it.
He would complain too, Beefcake.
Honky Tonk would complain. He had to. I think he was the first one, wasn't he? Didn't he have to work with him for the Intercontinental title?
Oh, at SummerSlam '88, they were going to do Beefcake and Honky, and then they did the angle where Ron Bass cut him open with his spurs, and the Warrior got the spot. And I think at SummerSlam '90, 2 years later, it was going to be Beefcake and Perfect again for the Intercontinental belt, but because his face was destroyed, they gave Kerry Von Erich the spot.
Yeah.
And Kerry wound up with the title for a very short period of time.
I just remember Honky Tonk. Jesus Christ, he almost killed me and my career. He was like,
Who was he talking about?
Warrior.
Oh, Warrior?
Yeah.
Did Warrior like Honky at all?
I don't know who he liked besides who I've told you earlier.
I mean, did you ever hear him yelling at Honky like he yelled at everybody else?
No, he didn't yell at the boys, really.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Just people else?
Yeah.
Oh, my God, I tell you these stories. I got to ask you about...
Man, what'd you just swallow?
Oh, my God.
That fly?
I think the fly went down my throat. Hold on 1 second. I got to get a drink of water.
We had a horse fly big as a bird.
We've had some interesting people and some interesting insects in and out of the studio. That July...
Interesting insect.
Interesting insects on the
It was
inside.
bigger just, what is this? Oh, don't forget to drink your Fabo. That's Fabo.
Fabo Puff. You got it, baby. July the 16th, Omaha, Nebraska. Dear Lord, I don't know if the story is true, if you ever saw anything. It was a TV shoot, so you would have been in the building. Bret Hart wrote about the ultimate...
Dan.
What do you need, brother?
Oh, you forgot?
No, you're doing the Cosro Vizeri.
Yeah.
Do you need a timeout?
No, what were you talking about?
Oh, the TV shoot, July of 1990. Ultimate Warrior was set up to do a Make-A-Wish with a child that was on a breathing ventilator. He had on the Ultimate Warrior t-shirt, the tassels, the face paint, and Ultimate Warrior blew him off the entire night. He wouldn't even meet with them.
Really?
Bret Hart called him.
Damn, man.
Bret Hart called him
That's just
a
horrible.
coward, a weakling, and a phony hero.
He called who that?
Warrior.
Called
a coward, a phony, a coward, a weakling, and a phony hero that he wouldn't meet with the Make-A-Wish child. And I think if that story is true, I think
Warrior didn't want to meet with the kid.
Right.
That's messed up.
You had a Make-A-Wish kid on a ventilator and a breathing
I just
tube.
forgot.
What did you think? We weren't shooting?
No, I forgot about getting up.
Where
I
were
was
you
going to
going?
get the bottle top there. But
Oh, no, leave. Forget about that.
I had to now.
We got Johnny C, baby. What a horror. I mean, if that's true, what a horrible person.
You know, if I'd have known that, I would have yelled at Warrior over that kind of crowd. That's bullshit. Excuse
I
my
mean, a
language.
dying kid. And, you know, funny enough, is the weekend we're taping this, we're doing the Make-A-Wish. Is that signal too, Johnny? Oh, all right. What the hell did you come out for then?
Get the beer top.
Don't worry. We can wait. It's not going to grow legs and run away. Thank you, John.
You don't know that with the
we
flies
appreciate
around
your
here.
attention. The fly may pick it up and run off with it. But did you, other than this instance, did you ever hear of guys that would ignore a Make-A-Wish kid that was set up by WWF?
Sean didn't ignore, but he
You told me he didn't like them after the one
He
experience.
didn't like doing them because we'd go see a kid and have the best time with him. We'd, you know, if you're supposed to be there half an hour, we were there an hour and a half.
Oh my God! Wow.
You know, and then you got that letter, you know, from the family. They hug you out the door. Shit, I'm about to cry telling you. In the family, you'd get the letter like, well, Joey died, and you're like, you got a hurt in your life that you know, wouldn't 2 days ago you had, you know, 4 day, whatever it was, you didn't have no clue anything about that, and now you carry that with you. You know, you learn to. I kept doing it. Sean just didn't. He didn't. You know, because it was hard to do. I don't know how Cena does it. He's got.
He's got more than any person ever. Athlete,
and
actor, and
I'm sure
actress,
it has
singer.
to affect him.
Yeah, he's a strong person to be able to do. I mean, it's been years, but he's done over 500.
Yeah.
I know that much. But I mean, honestly, though, how could you even...
And for you to just like, this kid's, man.
That's a warrior. That's a warrior that blows off a dying kid on a ventilator in his T-shirt, wearing his makeup and with tassels.
Yeah, I'm getting
and I agree with everything that
I
Bret Hart
was just went from
said.
crying, now I'm getting pissed off again.
That is a coward, and that is a weakling, and that is a fake hero.
I don't understand it either. Why?
God. I remember that. And you know what? If it's untrue, apologies, but I can't see anyone making up a story like that.
Who actually said it?
Bret.
Bret Hart. No, Bret wouldn't make nothing up like that.
No, he wasn't a big Warrior fan, and that was just one of the many reasons why. But did you ever hear of any other? I know you just mentioned Sean a minute ago because it was, you know,
Well,
it
Sean's a different
hurt
reason.
his heart.
Yes.
Did you ever? Were there guys that said, "Geez, I don't want to deal with these kids. They were going to annoyance."
Not that I know of.
Well, that's one thing you can say about WWF. Think of the kids that they've helped over the years.
And they do
through
a great
Make-A-Wish.
job of that.
Nobody does it better.
Another thing I did a lot was with the Special Olympics. Well, Sue would hook up. Sue Aitchison.
Right in Connecticut.
Yeah.
Well, no, that's where I know they're based out of Connecticut.
And that was the first Special Olympics I did was in Connecticut. And that's another thing I enjoy doing, man. You know, hugging up with the little kids and, you know, helping them do something like a run or throwing the ball somewhere or whatever. That was always fun to do, you know, because there's smiles on their faces and, you know, they feel good.
It gives them some life instead of being just stuck in the house.
Yeah.
And you know what? We've been proud Special Olympic partners since 2011. I don't know if you knew that here in Boston.
But I'm glad to hear that.
We do a lot of good work with Special Olympics, especially at our live events like we have coming to Memorial Hall Saturday night, November the 13th. Back to the 80s WrestleFest. For ticket information, head on over to BostonWrestling.com as we celebrate our 20th anniversary with some of the great legends that made this industry what it was during that big 80s boom. Right now, we're going to take a brief time out. When we come back, we're going to wrap up another intriguing night with Marty Jannetty. Stand by.
In the house.
Wrestling fans around the corner, around the world, I'm Dan Marati.
And I'm Mr. USA WWE Hall of Famer Tony Atlas.
The road to WrestleMania has begun. Wrestling fans are looking to add to their man caves. You got to see what we have in the eBay store.
Check it out.
At Night of Champions 2020, Tribal Chief Roman Reigns successfully defended the WWE Universal Championship against his cousin, Jey Uso, in a must-see battle. Here is your chance to own a piece of Roman Reigns moments before battle on this beautiful limited edition autographed 11x14 poster direct from friends at WWE. It's number 19 of only 50 made. Includes WWE authentication hologram on the poster itself. Suitable for framing and matting. You'll also receive a bonus Legends autographed 8x10 photo in an on-air shout-out on Wrestling Insiders as our thanks for helping keep Wrestling Legends working. Get this ultra-rare Roman Reigns autograph poster now.
Cheer. Why, hello. I would ask what was on your mind, but I already know. You want to know what has got my beard looking oh so majestic. And I'll tell you, it's sexy as hell beard care. Coconut oil, vitamin E oil, almond oil, both sweet and bitter, shea butter, it's all natural. Yes, JTG has actually come out with a high quality product. So support your boy by going to sahbeardcare.com and take one step closer to becoming sexy as hell. Cheer. Ooh, cheer. You know?
Wrestling fans, welcome back to Wrestling Insiders as we continue Marty's no-holds-barred sex, drugs, and rock and roll journey through the 80s and 90s. A man that was rocking since he came out of the womb. there must have been a lot of music playing around your mother.
On that
When
day,
you were in the womb, maybe she had little headsets on and you were already rocking.
I just know when I was born, I slapped the doctor, took a cab to the club, been partying ever since.
Well, maybe someone that was partying a little bit too much on July 18th, 1990.
Why, what happened?
Haku and Brady Boone arrested at Sauset, Illinois after a big barroom
East St.
brawl.
Louis.
Were you there for that?
Well, I heard about it. I wasn't there. But
you weren't there for that one?
Which is, I guess that's basically East St. Louis. It was when you go over this big bridge there's off to the right going into Illinois. It was a flats area, and there was clubs there. There was a great place for partying, and you know they were probably in St. Louis that night. We were wrestling on the other team, wherever the heck we were.
Gotcha.
Word got away to us right away what happened. I guess, barroom brawl, and, nobody could do nothing with Haku. No one ever could. Immediate where we got was that he got beat up at a bar. And,
Haku got beat up?
That's what got to us at the other show. We're like,
impossible.
Yeah, and Hacksaw, remember Hacksaw in particular said, hey, anybody on any day, you never know, there's always someone out there. But we still, that being true, we know that, but now Haku though, right? And as we found out the next day, actually what happened was nobody did that to Haku. That's why the police came, because Haku wiped everybody down, and the police wanted to get him, and he wouldn't let them, so they sprayed him with mace and kicked him, in certain places, and why he was. They said at first he was just eating the mace, and then I guess they power sprayed him or something. He had a mark down his face for like a week or so.
Oh, really?
Yeah. But they got in his eye somehow to where it slowed, he stopped him, and they nutted him, and then they put the boots to him, I guess. Still didn't hurt him, but
just enough to arrest him.
Yeah, and just like I said, the only thing he had was a line down his face. You could, he's dark complected.
Yeah.
It was a little bit darker line from where they did the mace thing.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah.
Why is it that Haku got into so many barroom brawls?
Because he's a wrestler. That's a big guy. He's not a bodybuilder big, but he's pretty big. I've been solid as a rock.
And he was trained.
But he's very nice and polite. Because I was with him one time, and I don't know what bar that was that night. It probably wasn't the same bar, but he's so nice, so gentle. That a lot of people, when they're like, oh, fucking wrestler shit, and then you see how soft and nice you be, and they say, oh, they ain't shit. He ain't. Look how he's. And he would take it. He'd let you say one thing and give you a pass. And then people would take that kindness as a weakness and go overboard. And then, generally you had to put your hands on him. When I was with him, they put the hands on him, and that was it. That was a no-no. It's probably, I imagine that's what happened that night, And like I said, the gentle giant, nicest guy, but if you're gonna take it to the physical, it ain't gonna be nice. They ain't gonna like it.
It wasn't a nice night for whoever was in that bar. What about Brady Boone? There's a name that may never come up again. Any memories of him?
He got, and he was an athlete. Was he an Olympic, or he was something with gymnastics? He was pretty good.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, he was a pretty good athlete. But he got knocked out right away, I think. Kurt Hennig was with him. Kurt had about 14 stitches. He got hit with a bar stool over there.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
He had like 14, 16 or more, either staples or stitches, whatever it was. Actually, you could see it. Kurt came up to us right to the front of his hairline. The next TV, you could see, for us who knew what we were, looking at, how you had the curly hair, but
yeah.
it was situated right to where you could see the the stitches that come right down to here. I think they ran across his head there. Yeah, it was them three. Brady got knocked all the way. Kurt didn't get knocked out, but he got busted open pretty bad.
And Haku just took out everything.
Haku wiped it out, and then the police come to get him. But
Haku, he was arrested so many times for barroom brawls. Was it ever a concern to the
I
company?
It was all the time.
Well,
No,
I mean, it
because
was a
he
couple
always
times a year.
Always in the right. Another thing that I don't really want to touch on here because I don't want to, get that crap started up, but he didn't like being called N-word.
The N-word, yeah.
Yeah, and
I don't understand why anyone would even throw it in his direction where he was
I don't know,
Samoan.
Stupid as hell.
Yeah.
But that would piss him off more than how you phony wrestler or you fake fucker, you ain't shit. But you call him that, he'd go off on it. In fact, tonight I saw him go off. That's what they, you ninja, and then snatched him. I say snatched him like you ain't nothing but a. And then I say ninja, but they didn't say ninja.
The other N word.
Yeah. And boy, whap, bap, 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 and I'm thinking, oh shit, there's more of them. Bap, 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 bap. And I'm like, well, goddamn, I ain't got to do nothing. I mean, shoot.
What was it? Was he trained as a sumo wrestler? Is that what it?
I don't
where
know.
His strength came from?
It probably could have been, but I know he was so high up in the marsh. That's your boy, probably.
No, that's your phone.
Charlie, no, probably Charlie calling
You can take a peek real quick if you.
I'll do it in a second, but I wanted just to say that. I forgot what the heck I was saying.
He was like a machine.
Yeah, it was something else we was going to say, but anyway, I don't know, but he was. I didn't know he got arrested a lot of times though. I know
a couple times a year at least.
No, it wasn't that much.
It was. How many times has it come up?
Well, Jimmy Jack Funk. You remember? I wasn't there for it, but. Jimmy Jack's
it was a bad night for Jimmy Jack Funk that night.
He'd caused us that problem. He was the reason we got fired.
Yep.
And he was just strung out from the road. Some guys just didn't do well with it, with the 40, 50, and 60 days in a row. And it is, man. The ring is a break. It's the road, this the routine of, one city to the next, the same routine, the hotel, to rent a car, to find a place to eat, find a gym, get back showered up, find a place that you go eat after the show, get to the show. It's just you can't mess up. You got to, the whole day is timed at different places. And until you're in a city enough times, you're lost. That's the most frustrating thing.
No GPS.
You got to time. Yeah, no GPSs. You got to find a place. The city map ain't gonna help you much. You got to ask. People send you the wrong direction. Some people in country ass towns, or you can't get there from here. Shit like that. But yeah, man, that's a hell of a schedule. And Jimmy Jack, that's the only reason he screwed up Sean and I. He was just, he wasn't really comprehending the everything that was going on, and did it with Haku, something similar. Evidently, I wasn't there. We got the boot already. And for what I heard though, he did one of his keys. He was more deadly with his feet than his fist. The only time I saw, I actually only saw him that one time. I was telling you. And it was his feet. Yeah, pop, pop, pop. I mean, he could kick a face. I mean, you could put a pin on the wall, tell him to kick it. He'd hit it. But he kicked Jimmy Jack evidently and knocked his eye out of socket. Yeah, he had to put his eye back in the socket. Wow. But yeah, I wouldn't want him mad at me. No. I wouldn't want him mad at me. That's the thing. He wouldn't. He's the nicest guy in the world. Same with Barbarian. There's another guy that can hurt you. That's how we knew how badass Haku was, because I think they're cousins or something. And Barbarian had some guy was talking. He was a big brute guy that just got through with Barbarian in the ring, and he comes in the match was what I meant. Comes in and he starts throwing chairs. Fucking Barbarian stiffed me, that son of a bitch, is kicking shit around. We're like, damn. And Barb walks in the dressing room and he goes, oh, thank you, Barb, for the match. We're like, wow. What a phony. The chairs around. And we asked Barb after, what's it like to be the baddest boy in the business? And he's like, hey, okay. Now, Haku, he bad. And that's what, like, wow. For Barbarian, and Barb's a martial art, too. They can do all that stuff. Yeah. I think he was. I didn't know that. Or I didn't see him. I heard him, he did the feet, too. I know he threw a pretty good kick. Yes, he did. I can tell you that. Well, yeah. You took it many a times, yeah. But it really was light, for big men, yeah. All right, wrestling fans, we're running out of time. We got a lot going on here in the world of Boston wrestling sports. Again, we ask you, please,
If you're chatting with us during the premiere, give us a super chat. Don't forget to tip the bartender. A thumbs up. Subscribing to the YouTube is free. It alerts fans through YouTube about all the great stuff we're doing here in the world of Boston wrestling. You can share the links to our great talk shows on social media to get more fans engaged. The eBay store is open 24/7. You can find the link in the description box below. Never mind our world-renowned Patreon streaming service where you become a member of the Boston Wrestling family. The link is below. You can also check out patreon.com/Boston Wrestling. And again, Marty, Saturday night, November the 13th, as we celebrate 20 years of Boston wrestling.
In that nice building.
In that beautiful building, Memorial Hall, downtown Melrose, Massachusetts. MWF Boston Wrestling. We're going back to the 80s for WrestleFest. Great legends from the great era of the sport and the hungry young athletes, the superstars and legends of yesterday, today, and tomorrow are going to light it up in the ring. For ticket information, head on over to bostonwrestling.com. Our goal is to give you the best value in professional wrestling. For my Thursday night partner in crime,
MJ
Marty Jannetty. I am not Haku.
I do want to brag on that building a little bit. I just saw it last night for the first time on the outside. That's a nice-ass building. And you were saying it's even prettier on the inside, huh?
Yeah, they had wrestling and boxing in that venue back in the 30s and 40s. So it's a classic. It's that old,
wow.
Yeah. Road Dogg thought it was haunted. Seriously,
I
true
mean,
story.
I can see that.
Yeah, it's interesting. But great venue. There's not a bad seat in the house. It holds about 800. It's got a floor seating and just one lower loge. Again.
How much? 800?
About 800.
I suggest get your tickets early.
Well, I tell you this, the tickets were flying up until coronavirus hit, and then it got delayed a year and a half. But such is life. For Marty Jannetty, I'm Dan Marotti. Don't forget, tomorrow night after SmackDown, it's John Cena Sr.'s Fabulous Fridays. We'll be back next Thursday night to party with Marty. Until then, you and yours be well, stay healthy. Good night.
Sir.
Thank you for joining us. Please give the video a big thumbs up, leave us a comment, and subscribe to the channel to enjoy more great content. Don't forget, you can help keep wrestling legends working. Check out our eBay store and join the Boston Wrestling family at patreon.com/Boston Wrestling so we can produce more in-depth shoot interviews.